All right, time for to come up with some new video ideas. How about a GPD WinMax building drop test? Can Corey's PS5 be used as firewood? Can a Xbox Series X work when submerged underwater? Corey's, of course.
He said it was coming. He said it was coming.
What is that?
He said it was coming.
Corey?
He said it was coming.
So what was coming?
The PS5 headset video.
Oh.
You told Sleeper and me that it was coming.
Sorry, man. I got busy.
You got busy. You know how long I've been here?
No.
Long enough to grow a beard. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Beards, Bourbon, and Games. I'm your favorite co-host, Conqueror Corey.
And I'm your more favorite co-host, Mike.
That's right. We tell them that. All right. So you've asked for it. You've waited. And here it is. The PS5 headset painting video.
This video had a lot of ups and downs and lefts and rights, but we finally got it together. This first part here is just us disassembling it. Wow, words are hard. You have to start by actually taking off that band. You do that by just kind of pulling down on the strap itself, and you can see the screw hole. And you gotta pull another one up here and get into it. Just 2 screws. You simply do that and it pops apart.
You know, that does not look like that's Fat Man finger friendly.
It is not. I had to use a small screwdriver, and then later on you'll see me pull up an even smaller screwdriver that I use for PCs, when certain things. There it is. It's the little blue one. And my hand does not go around that very well.
Yeah, and just like that, Mike had his worst case of carpal tunnel since he discovered the internet.
Next part you're going to do is you're going to take something flat. You're going to pop in there and pull out that top part. It is glued in there, so when you pull it across, don't freak out. You're going to hear it snap. Not really snap, but kind of just pulling the glue apart. But once you pull that out, you're next going to pull off the ear cones, and those, just get a good firm grip on them and pull apart. You'll see the little clips there. They pop right off. Now for the hardest part, you have to pull these little stickers off. You see me kind of fumbling around here trying to figure out where my next screw hole is. I'm like, oh yeah, it's under this these stickers. They are not easy to get off. Once you pull them off, you got 4 screws you have to take off. These help you get into the internals of the headset, so you can actually pull off the last couple of screws to finish assembling it.
Just a heads up, that will probably void your warranty, just so you know. Which, I mean, let's face it, it's getting close to the warranty being up anyways. These things bought on day one.
Needs a warranty.
Warranties for squares. Real brave men void it instantly.
What you do is you buy 3 pairs. 1 pair to practice on, 1 pair to actually paint, and 1 pair to when you mess up the first and second pair. Oh.
Then you get a 4th one to sell at ridiculously high prices. Nah, who am I kidding? We're not scum of the earth. Oh, did I say that? Whoops.
Now when you take the cover off, you'll see here there's those 2 little parts it's pointed to. That's 2 more screws you have to undo. That attaches the headphone part to the frame. When you finally get that pulled off, the headphone piece just kind of slides out. You see me kind of struggling here because I'm having to use that little crappy screwdriver that I could never quite get my meaty hands to hold on to real well.
You'll always hate about those small screws. They are so easy to strip. Like, they are the weakest material ever.
They are. I was so worried about losing them. I just kept throwing them into a little bucket you see up there.
Anytime I'm working on small electronics, when I go to turn it and I feel the screwdriver slip and I'm watching that horrible shiny metal inside of the screw head, it just, I get sick every time because I'm like, okay, I only got a few more turns here before I permanently bork this thing.
Makes me want to cry when I do that. And once you actually pull that piece off, you can finally get to these 2 screws here, which are impossible to get unless you take those off. You unscrew those. And there's a third screw towards the top of this little piece. And these are also pieces that you technically could paint if you wanted to, if you wanted like some weird colors, but I wanted to go with, you know, Mike colors, so I like the black. I use a piece here to help me pry it up. It is in there pretty snug. Once you get off, you'll see the wire is connected. Be careful with that. You don't want to accidentally rip that too hard and destroy it. You have to repeat the process on the other side. You get to watch me struggle again.
They really do not want you accessing those screws, do they?
Nope, not at all. Okay, I didn't have a little bit of trouble. I had a lot of trouble getting that off of there. Don't judge me. Those are very sticky, and you can't put those back on when you reassemble them. So. Unless you rip them. Same thing here. 4 screws on the front. Twist motion.
Gotta go fast.
Gotta go Sonic speeds. This is actually where the battery pack is. So if anything ever happens, you have to replace that. Kind of good to know that's there.
Battery holds a pretty good charge for this kind of device.
It does. I'm still really impressed with these headsets. I really am. I really enjoy using mine. I know you've used yours for a long time, haven't you?
Oh yeah, I use mine actually for this right now. I'm using mine right now for this recording. But I bought a PS5 headset to use as my PC headset because, you know, reasons.
It works. I mean, that's just the truth of it. It has great sound. It's a very good headset for the cost. Hope that we can one day get a hold of one of the Xbox headsets and we can compare them.
Those are always fun.
So hard to get a hold of, though. At the time of this video, anyway.
Yeah, today's market, you could gold plate a turd, say it's going to be worth something, and the scalpers just descend upon it like a carcass in the desert. Pick it clean.
Scalpers, how we hate ye. And that finishes the symbol. Now, we're going to move on to actually painting the sucker. So, I'm going to say this now. Make sure you get a very good, sturdy box to use. We're going to use the same paint we've always used, the Krylon paint here. I highly recommend using this or the ×2 coat that you can get. You want to use very light coats when you go over this. Be careful not to be too heavy because you can get some beading, and where it's kind of a straight up and down surface, you could actually have a lot of runoff on the end. You want to do a bunch of light coats like we tell you to in all our other videos.
I never expected Mike to use red, said no one ever.
Red is the best color. Leave me alone. Makes us go fast. What do you want from a console? Fast.
And like always, depending on how the weather is outside, watch your humidity levels. That can impact your coats as well.
Oh, 100%. You got to be very careful. One thing I forgot to mention too, make sure you clean it down. Use some Windex or something to spray onto the thing, wipe it down, make sure there's no oils from your fingers or anything on it. And then when you come back to start spraying it, you make sure it's completely dry before you do it. You can use any kind of spray paint. You want the color and primer put together. That's the big part. The Krylon is just what we like to use because it's never failed us. As you see, the coats are starting to build up really nicely. The one thing I have trouble with in this is actually getting the bottom of it, where the headset actually grabs onto the box. The bottom wasn't painted. So I have the bright idea to use a smaller piece to try and get those for more coats, which you'll see here in a sec. You gotta be very careful to make sure you get the undercoat, because that will show through. That little lip isn't hidden by anything. Now here's the part. Don't use something this small. You want to have something with a good balance. I was being very careful. See how wobbly it is. This was allowing me to get good coats on everything. At one point here, my dog's in here and he runs across, bumps the table, and I have to grab it because it's hard to get a hold of. Now, this is the thick glaze coat that we have used in the past. I wanted this on here because here's where the dog was bumping the table. And of course the spray from the can was pushing it. But I wanted a glaze coat on these because, again, this is going to be one of those pieces that's going to be handled a lot. So I didn't want it to rub off, because a lot of paint does over time get a hold of them. So with these, you want to do a base coat, and then you want to come back in and do a very heavy coat of the glaze, which you'll see me do in a sec. As you can kind of see, there's not everything is covered at this point. When I come back in with a heavy coat, it gets it nice and covered. Here is why you don't use something this flimsy. I have my dog running around, have me spraying, and boom. It's a perfect storm.
Oh, wasted.
It hits the table, rolls off the table, rolls across the floor, covered in dog hair, covered in everything. So, that's one reason why this video took so long, is because it was destroyed. So, as a bonus, we're going to show you how to strip things when you screw them up. We do a lot of modeling. We do like Warhammer figures and things like that, if any of you are into that. And a lot of times when we buy used models, we have to strip them. The issue is that a lot of things you use to strip paint will destroy the model because it's a plastic model. This is called Purple Power. It is a degreaser. It's safe to use on a lot of plastics. It just takes a long time for it to eat the paint. So you want to pour this in here. There's also something called Simple Green you can use. It's another one that a lot of people use, but Purple Power has always been trusty for me.
If you want to go for the extreme cheap option, Totally Awesome is at dollar stores and Dollar Trees for like $1. But your mileage may vary on that. Keep that in mind. Right.
You want to make sure that you pour enough into the bucket or whatever you use to cover up what you're dripping, or you're not going to get everything done. You want to have it in some sort of container that seals. That's important, because this stuff will evaporate. And when it does, it leaves a nasty mess. This is, I think, after a week or two, I've had it in here. Now, if you look at it, you'll see here at this first green arrow that's about to pop up, this area here will let you know when it's actually done. You take your finger and rub across those two areas and it would just peel the paint off. This darker area is not ready. You'll see that in a second when I go to start stripping it off. I had to put it back in there for a couple more weeks. Now right in here, those were the areas that weren't done. You can see the rest of it, a lot of it just kind of came off when I started washing it. Now if you look here, this is just, I'm taking a paper towel, I'm just rubbing across it, boop, just pulls right off. It's a nice thing about the Purple Power is it just slowly eats the paint and starts to pull it off of there, but it doesn't damage the product itself. This is what it looks like after I've finished cleaning it off with a nice little toothbrush. So, we're repainting, and I'm using a much more stable platform this time. We just kind of go at it.
I didn't know you were so good at stripping, man.
Oh yeah, great. That's why you should check us out at our OnlyFans page.
Oh yeah.
Last thing about this box too is like you see, it kind of grabs a hold of the sides. This was a much easier time for me to paint it because it was big enough that I was able to move around and get all the angles correctly that I needed to. And here, I kind of held it in my hand and make sure I had a good grip on it. And the bottom of it, I was able to spray those two little parts there that I talked about that kind of held on the box that wouldn't get any paint. But now we get to the finished product. I'm very happy with how it turned out. I'm ecstatic to actually use it. I still use it on a mostly weekly basis now. But I hope you enjoyed this, and if you have any questions, don't forget to leave us a comment down below. Let us know what you think. I'll try to help you out best I can.
Corey, it is done.